This meets that. This meets that. You like this thing. I like that. This meets that. Put them together and what do you got? This meets that. This meets that. Hey.
All right. I'm sorry to do this to you, but I'm putting that in.
Wait, has it been recording this whole time?
I've been recording now.
Oh, okay.
Not this whole time.
Do it.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of WRPL, All Things Consumed. I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
We're going to do another This Meets That, where we mash up two movies and create a new movie where you would say, well, it's like this meets that. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, Steve, have you thought of a movie?
I have.
Me too. All right, 1, 2, 3. The
Shaun
Sandlot.
of the Dead. Oh.
Sandlot and Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
Well, you have two common things, like size is different, but like groups of friends.
Right.
That's all I got. It's a movie about a group of friends. Done.
So,
Next.
get Seth Rogen on the phone. Obviously, the easy thing is a group of kids who love baseball. A baseball team. Are heading to the World Series of Baseball.
Okay. Wait, like as just to watch?
No.
So like a Little League thing?
Yeah, Little League World Series.
Okay.
And so, yeah, they're going in this thing, and then someone gets bit. There's a zombie outbreak at the Little League World Series, and so all these teams are getting bit, and then they have to play baseball against zombies. No. But, I mean, I imagine there would be a... fuck, this is so bad.
This is kind of hard.
Yeah, because it's like, do you go with...
Is it just a zombie movie where kids with baseball bats beat up zombies?
Yeah.
That's boring.
That is boring, yeah.
All right.
Well, let's look at the... I'm sorry.
Okay. No, go.
I was going to say, let's look at the core of Sandlot first.
Yep.
Because we're doing just basic. We're saying Shaun of the Dead is zombies, that we're saying this as baseball.
There's more to it.
There's more to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's break down the Sandlot.
Okay.
Sandlot, yeah. So you have the new kid joining a group of kids who love baseball. They show him the ropes of baseball. And then there's also a scary neighbor with a dog. And I think that you could lean into the scary neighbor aspect. Maybe that's where the zombie outbreak starts.
Okay.
Or that's patient zero or whatever. They
hit a baseball into his window. They have to sneak in.
And that kid gets bit.
And he's a zombie that's just been wandering around the house.
Or maybe he's doing tests on his scary dog, and like that's why the neighborhood has this like fear of this dog. It's like maybe this dog has been getting tested on. He gets bit from the dog, and it's like, he's obviously not like torn apart or anything. Or maybe you do, and you have the kid get like brutally murdered by this dog. But instead of just like dying, the kid comes back, and then something like that. But where do you go from there?
Yeah.
You have the ghost of Babe Ruth come back.
Yeah, you have a special item that is used carelessly, and that's one of the plots of the movie is trying to get that back.
Item.
Yeah, you have this item that was used carelessly, and they're trying to get it back from the neighbor. Okay, well, let's look at Shaun of the Dead. You have two loser guys. Can't keep his relationship because he is fine with being content with his humdrum life. She wants more, and her friends are talking in her ear the whole time, telling her to leave him. Just so happens they're dealing with a zombie apocalypse. They have to band together and survive.
Okay, I think what you do here is you have your two friends. One, they're older now, so we're leading into the Shaun of the Dead world.
Okay.
But one is a famous baseball player. The other one maybe played baseball with him as a kid, and they were on the right track. He got injured or something, or decided to get into drugs or whatever. Like, he just became the slacker type. And so he has to watch his friend be successful, because maybe he was actually even the better player. But for whatever reason, he didn't move up, and
they were playing ball or whatever, and the guy who goes into baseball, he hit the baseball into the neighbor's house, broke a window. His friend takes the blame. The guy decides to press charges. That kind of fucked his life up. The other friend
he went over the fence to get the ball, got attacked by the dog, which ruined his
throwing arm, and
he's always kind of blamed him. It's like, I could have been in the MLB, but because you hit that ball over and then you made me go get it, now I lost all my hopes and dreams and stuff. And so you have this combative relationship, even if like maybe his friend who went on like always kind of blamed himself and like has tried to mend the relationship, but he didn't want it, and all this other stuff. So you have these two characters who should be able to reconcile, but can't, because if you lose your dreams, I imagine that it's very tough for you. And then the question is, how do you bring in the zombie aspect of it? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. You can just have maybe they meet up at a party, or your Sean character gets drunk and it's just like goes to his friend because his friend maybe comes back to his hometown. They're doing a whole big event for him, maybe having like a parade kind of thing.
Hometown hero,
and he's going to do a signing, and your Sean character gets drunk and it's like, I'm going to go tell this guy off and blah blah blah, because maybe they haven't seen each other in a while. And then you could just have some government truck crash or whatever.
It could be one of those stories where it's like, oh, we're on our first date and it happened during an alien invasion, and you're actually telling the story of this relationship that just takes place during it. So it can be just these two people and you have a freak outbreak of zombies.
So maybe he goes to berate him, and then the outbreak starts, and then these two kind of get trapped inside this thing, inside of a building somewhere, or maybe they go to a bar to sort of like try and hash things out, and that's when it starts. And so people are getting killed off outside, and they don't really know what's going on, because they just think, oh, it's a rowdy parade and everyone's celebrating because I'm here. But really, like, I came back to hometown to see if I could, so I could run into you. And they're trying to have a heart-to-heart, but there's so much contempt there. And then zombies come, they're coming into the bar, and then so it's like, all right, let's kick it like old days. And then they just take baseball bats, and they become these...
Well, the star would have the bat, and the other one who got hurt, he should have been a pitcher, so he was never really a batter at all. And since he got bit on the arm or whatever, he just couldn't ever pitch as well as he used to. And so he's hitting him with bats and stuff, and it's like, look, use that magic arm of yours. Oh, I don't know. And so he's like just lobbing balls at zombies. I think it'd be better than just two guys with baseball bats.
But where would he could just get an entire basket of baseball? I mean, I guess they could like go
they're at Sports Authority or something. They're at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, you know what? They go back to the field that they hit into the neighbor, and so like they're
it doesn't have to be baseballs. It could be rocks. It could be whatever. He just has a good arm.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he's like gaining his confidence. I don't know. It's just, what do you do with this story?
I mean, I think it's just you just build their relationship, and then obviously there'll be something that's sort of just when you think they're getting better. Maybe you find out it's like, oh, I did send you over there on purpose because I was always jealous of you because I knew you were going to be great and I was going to be nobody. So I was hoping you would get hurt, but I feel super bad about it.
Yeah.
And
like, I was only just thinking about it. I didn't think it would actually happen.
Yeah. And then that's when you have the pro baseball player like feel so bad. He's kind of like going to go out. He's like, I'm going to take out as many of these things as I can, I'm just going to keep calling him Sean because, whatever. Sure. It's like, you get out of here. I fucked you over. Like, you could have been something great, and because of me, you weren't. So I'll take this, get in the car, and just drive away. And then you see him kind of like taking the bat, and you think he's going to die. And then just as he's about to get bit, like the Sean character puts it out his arm where he like got bit before, gets bit again. And he's just like, nah, man, like I had my chance. It's not on you. Go. And then he takes his bat, and then maybe he pitches or whatever, and then like this is his great moment. Like this was his like purpose was to like help his friend achieve his dreams kind of thing. It's like I should have been there for you from the beginning, and so you just have this like sacrificial moment where he, you know, takes on these zombies and like sacrifices himself so his friend can go, because it's like, you know, I might have been hurt after the fact, but I didn't try anything to like do anything to make myself better, so that's on me. So you go on and, you know, play for both of us. And, you know, maybe when the world cuts back to a year or two later, the zombie outbreak is pretty much taken care of, and then things are starting to get back to normal, and then he like hits the field again, and maybe he wears Sean's number that he wore when he was a kid or something like that, or you know, you could do something nice about it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the route you go with.
Yeah. I would say kind of need to have it take place in a stadium, you know, because you have bars there, you have things, you have access to equipment and stuff like that.
You can, I guess that would be you could do a more of a, what is it, Dawn of the Dead that takes place in the mall? Yeah. You do Dawn of the Dead, but in a baseball stadium, where it's like, oh, we lock all the doors, because I think all stadiums have like those rolling shutters or whatever.
And then, it could either be during a celebration, so you have these huge crowds of panicky people, so there's tons of zombies, or you do it as a, look, I brought you onto this field because I'm trying to apologize, and they're the only people, except for like maybe the cleaning crew or the grounds crew, and so you only have the outside zombies. You don't necessarily have everybody inside the stadium turning, but I think you set it in that one location.
Yeah, and I do like a good movie in one location, so that could be fun. And then you would have access to a bunch of different stuff.
All the baseballs you need.
All the baseballs,
a pitching machine and stuff.
I was just about to say the pitching machine. Just using that as like a cannon, just blowing zombies' heads off.
Like
with that.
In Aliens, the director's cut, they're like, oh, we're going to set up these turrets so that if the aliens come down here, motion sensors, and it grabs them. So they're like, we need to hold them off and go this way. So they set up a couple of them, and they just keep knocking them out. I mean, it's not going to be super successful in killing them, because it's only going to really shoot in one spot. But
I mean, you could have a thing where they're able to like turn it.
And I think there are newer pitching machines that like kind of move the ball for you. But.
And a lot of games have like a car you can drive around with, like a sunroof that you try and throw balls in to win the car or whatever.
T-shirt cannons,
yep.
Maybe they have to like hide in mascots.
I was just about to say, I bet there's going to be like some dumb mascots where they're just like, we need, oh man, if only we had some armor, and they look over and they're just like, oh no, and then you just see them wobble out, and the zombies can't bite through it because it's so big and bulky and stuff.
Maybe the guy, the failure guy, he's always hates like, oh, I fucking hate that thing, because it's also an object of his disdain, because look, that's the team my buddy who made it is on, so I just instantly hate it, and so he has to put it on, and it's the thing that kind of saves them. And it would be kind of fun. Like, you could either do, they have the heads on and zombies come and they just lay there and the zombies walk past and they don't notice them because they're like their smell or whatever is covered up. Or you have it, they're walking and it's so bulky, they're being bit and attacked and it's not coming through, and they're like, hey, this is pretty easy.
Now, what would be the name of this movie? Baseball and zombies. Pitches.
Home runs. Foul
bases.
Ball, and they're like smelly. Smell. I mean, that's more of a concept. I was gonna say like you know, the seats that are really far are called like the nosebleeds, and maybe that'd be like the first thing of when you're turning into a zombie. It just like pours out of your face.
The nosebleed section,
and they just call them all like,
because the nosebleed is where all the poor people are, so of course they're getting hit first. So
and like they don't, you know, in all zombie movies you can't call them zombies unless it is Shaun of the Dead, and they just call them like nosebleeds or bleeders or something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, out in the nosebleed seats or.
I like that.
Yeah, it's not bad. Now, I think that's a pretty basic story. Anybody could probably write that up. I have kind of an idea to do an opposite of it. What if it was a little more Sandlot-y and it's just in a zombie world? Like, the zombie apocalypse has happened. we couldn't really stop them. We just had to kind of live around them. So maybe it's walled off cities or whatever, but there are smaller communities, and there is a group of kids who have just learned about baseball. You know, they were born in after the zombie apocalypse. They don't know a lot of the outside stuff. So they either stumble upon an old video or the equipment or something like that, and or it's like they've only ever known baseball bats to be used as zombie killing machines. They didn't know that there was a game out of it. And you could have, there was a new, we're getting some new survivors from outside the city, and so this new kid comes in, and he actually knows about baseball. Maybe his dad was a baseball player and stuff, and so he's teaching these kids how to have fun and learn this game. And you can still do the things where, oh shit, I knocked it over the fence, and they're trying to sneak out and trying to like dodge the zombies to go get their ball back. I don't know. This would be different to have kind of a dark, gritty, hopeless, apocalyptic movie and stuff, but kids are just trying to have some fun.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
You want to try another one, or?
Yeah. Another...
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to do at least two, and then a director versus director. We can't just have one.
I mean, unless our one is certified gold hit, like Mandingo.
Yeah, and we're going to mention that every episode.
Yeah. Go listen to this one, because if you don't like this bit, I swear you'll like this one.
Yeah, go listen to our first This Meets That episode. Got some solid gold on there. Okay, well, that was something. I'm going to just write nosebleeds.
It's going to bug me, because I know I'm going to have a better title in like 45 minutes after you leave. I'm going to be like, fuck, that's the one. I just need to have more baseball knowledge. Home run for your life.
You do have a movie?
Yep. You should keep a list of movies we said, because
I do. It's in here.
Good, because I was going to say, I bet I don't want to repeat.
Yeah. I want to go funs too.
Oh, I'm not going fun, so that's cool.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh, mine's
I'll
not
definitely
fun.
go fun. Sure. All right, Steve, you got a movie?
I do.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Willy
There
Wonka
will be
and the
blood.
Chocolate Factory.
Oh, I love this. This is good. Okay.
All right.
I'm a candy man, you see.
I drink your chocolate river.
Let's say you have a chocolate river. Right.
Oh, I got to write this down, so you start.
Okay, so There Will Be Blood, the story of a greedy oil tycoon, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the story of a candy tycoon who is trying to give his kingdom away to a worthy child.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's hard to do like a candy factory movie without people just going, well, this is like essentially a Willy Wonka movie. So I don't think we can really do another like, oh, well, this is the dark Willy Wonka, even though both versions of Willy Wonka are kind of dark.
Yeah.
Like Gene Wilder's scary tunnel ride, and then whatever the fuck Johnny Depp is.
Just scary in general.
Just scary in general. Yeah.
Well, the easiest is like you just do a There Will Be Blood parody, but you set it in Candyland. You know, it's something simple like that.
Yes.
And so the movie would be called There Will Be Chocolate. and it's just what's his name? What the guy from There Will Be Blood? What's his name?
Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, what's the character's name?
Daniel Playview.
Daniel Plain.
I had to say Daniel Day-Lewis to get I couldn't think of
Daniel Plain Chew. And it's like he doesn't have any taste buds or anything like that. And he's in the candy industry, and he's like trying to make the best candy, something that even he could taste, but no, he can't because he's got a plain chew.
God damn it. Plain Chew. Oh my god. That's so funny.
So is it like there's this guy that's coming and trying to like work with him? I mean, okay, besides putting a There Will Be Blood in Candyland or something? Do you have an original idea that isn't just a literal mashing of two things?
I don't know. And after that pitch, I don't know if there's any, like, you can make it just a general movie and that's fine. But like, I like the idea of taking a kid's board game property and just make it like
dark.
Yeah.
Hey, they did Battleship and they added aliens. Why can't we do this?
Yeah, I think that movie was hot garbage. So I think this one lends itself to be funny.
Yeah, because you may try to like play it serious. Or like the characters in this world are taking it serious because this is the infrastructure
their harsh reality, but it's still funny to the audience. But it's still
funny for us.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Plainchew is one of the funniest jokes you've said in a while.
But it's like, it's weird for someone to like have that name and then be in the candy industry. So it almost seems like he would be the person trying to regulate or shut down things in Candyland. You know, he's a government stooge. And just like, I never liked candy.
But he never liked...
I'm a salt man.
More of a savory guy. But like maybe his whole thing, it's like it's not that he doesn't necessarily have taste buds, but it's just he's never had a candy he likes. So it's up to the people of Candyland to develop something that he would enjoy. I don't really know what that... is there like a lore with Candyland? I don't know the lands of Candyland. I haven't played since like, ever.
Like Lord Licorice, and there's like the Chocolate Swamp Muck Monster, and there's like Pretty Princesses. There are like characters, but I don't think there's any lore. Okay. But you definitely probably could.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so if we like break it down as like... There is a candy kingdom, and there's, it's kind of taking from Wreck-It Ralph, but you have King Candy or whatever, and here comes this evil army led by Daniel Plainchew, and he's like, I don't like candy, I can't taste it, whatever reason he has, or none of it's ever tasted good to me. I like things that are like oatmeal and... mashed potatoes and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Saltines. Loves them saltines.
So he wages war on Candyland. And maybe the reason Candyland works is because they have a sugar deposit under the ground. So his goal is to take to drill into the land, steal the resources so they can't make candy. So their kingdom literally crumbles because the thing giving their sweetness life, which is sugar, or something along those lines, is getting drained out. I don't know if there's any purpose other than to be evil, or if he's going to use this sugar to do something else, or maybe he's going to use the sugar to sell his own candy that's so sweet that everyone's going to want it. And so like but like what they don't know is that it's going to rot their teeth to the point where they can't have candy anymore.
Okay.
So ultimately it's like, I'm going to take your resource, use it against you so no one can eat your candy, something like that.
Okay. Well, I looked up the different lands and characters from Candyland. Maybe this will help help us out. So the people that play are just kids. They're like blonde twins, but in a newer version, it was like an ice cream cone, a gumdrop, and a gingerbread girl.
Okay.
Okay, so there's Mr. Mint. He lives in the candy cane forest and is a candy cane woodcutter. There is Duke of Swirl. He replaced Mr. Mint. So, the swirl of the peppermint thing is probably. Grandma Nut. Grandma Nut lives in a peanut brittle house, and she was renamed Nana, and her dog is named Baz. King Candy.
Is Baz
I don't know.
Thing?
B-A-Z-Z.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with peanut brittle. Okay. There is a King Candy, and he's the king of Candyland. Jolly, a happy chubby monster representing gumdrops. He was removed in 2010, and then he was put back in after there was a demand and an outcry, but then he was removed again.
Who?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. This is my childhood, and if my kid doesn't grow up with a jolly, chubby monster representing gumdrops, they won't be able to live. Stupid. Plumpy, a fizzy green monster under the gingerbread plum tree. He was removed and replaced by Mama Ginger Tree. And then she got replaced by Cupcake Commons. That's all the information is for them. Princess Lolly, and she was just renamed Lolly. Queen Frostine. That's a cool name. And then she became Princess Frostine later, because little girls don't want to be queens. They want to be princesses. There's Lord Licorice. He's the villain. He rules in Licorice Castle. And they're in the Licorice Forest and Licorice Lagoon. He has some pets. Spindora. She's a red spider with black stripes and yellow eyes. Buzzy. Brown vulture. And Crockett is a green crocodile. So a spider, a vulture, and a crocodile.
Weird. Okay.
And then Gloopy is a friendly monster made of chocolate. It originally was molasses, but they changed it to chocolate. There are gingerbread kids named Jib and Ginga Ninja. Wait,
what?
Hold on. Nope. Young gingerbread people seen in various editions of Candyland, usually as player pieces. Jib is Ginger Boy Jib is the main character and protagonist of Candyland. Ginja Ninja, an unknown character and child of Mama Ginger Tree. He's an unknown character? Then why is he here? I don't get that. Grandma Gooey, Grandma Nut's replacement in 2010. And she also took over Gloopy, or Gloppy. And then Fluffy Puffer, a plump character that appeared in the Candyland VCR board game. Okay.
Interesting. Wow, that is a full cast of characters that apparently some people care about.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're doing a straight like Candyland thing, Lord Licorice, I guess, is your
the villain. But I like Daniel Plainchew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see this being like
I got it. Okay, go ahead.
Ratatouille sort of thing, pompous and going from land to land and not finding the thing he wants until he does find that candy that really sets his taste buds, or maybe his taste buds are so refined that nothing will satisfy him and it's all just the same boring stuff, and they have to come together to make the first, and maybe this is the first Reese's thing, like we put peanut butter and chocolate together and he eats it just like, oh my god, it's the sweet, it's the salt, it's what I've been looking for,
and then just abuses that power and like takes everything from these people, and it's like, oh, we're only making this thing. Yep. It's just like, but no, we need all these things for other flavors.
Guy. We're making Reese's licorice.
Or my thing is, Daniel Plainchew is someone who hates sugary things because they make children fat and everything. So his whole thing is like, I'm pushing organic foods. I want the world to eat only healthy snacks, and all the people of the Candy Kingdom are just like, well, no, that doesn't work for us. What are we gonna do if you wipe us out? Like, the world needs candy. Candy makes people happy. And I'm basically only doing this bit so there's a part where Daniel Plainchew can go, I've abandoned my child, I've abandoned my soy. I've abandoned my soy. Because he's got a soy boy beta cup. And yeah, so the soy boys go to war with the candy kids.
I can't see a studio saying, let's make a movie where we say the villain is eating good healthy foods and candy reigns supreme. It doesn't happen. So it just has to be, candy is just like a way of life.
Yeah.
It's just the world they live in. Good jokes.
I mean, it's basically, I feel like leaning less towards There Will Be Blood and more towards the Lorax in Candyland, where it's just like, here comes big business to take over this pure innocent thing, and then all the resources are gone, so there's nothing for anyone, and so everyone has to like leave, and that's kind of
Death of Candyland.
If you want to go more of the dark, realistic route. And, maybe you have a little, if we're leaning more towards a kid's movie, have a little thing at the end where there is hope as long as, there's some sugar left in this world. Or, like, maybe if people are sweet to each other, we can we can eat sweets too. The real sugar is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, it's like having sugar, which is like the worst thing for human beings. As like the heroes, it's
this movie would be basically pushing cereal and stuff.
Yeah.
And
if they made this in the 80s, they definitely could have gotten away with this.
Yeah, it'd be like I feel like this is the Emoji Movie, but with candy, and that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good jokes in here for us, but it'd be one of those things where, like, we're doing that thing in a lot of kids' movies where, like, we make an obscure adult reference that just doesn't really fit in the movie.
Yep.
And we're basically just making this movie to make There Will Be Blood jokes, which is still fun.
Yeah.
Because...
Is there a way you can do it the opposite, where it's not about the candy, make it more about the oil, but it's not Daniel Plainview, it's Willy Wonka? How do you drop the candy aspect from Willy Wonka and introduce oil?
Well, I guess that goes... That's two different... You could do two different things. If you're talking original, that's going to be a harder conversation. If you're talking about the Willy Wonka aspect, I think you do a Willy Wonka origin story where he meets the Oompa Loompas, and even though in the movie the Oompa Loompas are happy to work for him because he's saved them from mythical beasts that eat them, but instead you kind of do like, I'm coming to your land, I'm taking you and your people and your resources and basically forcing them into do more like a slave labor type movie kind of thing, where it's about the it's still about like corporate greed and the dehumanization of these peaceful people and their orange green-haired tribe, and making money off the suffering of others, and you kind of go that route.
Well, I kind of have some bad news. They are making that movie in some way. There is a Willy Wonka prequel coming out with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yes, ew indeed. I don't like going this way. We're going back the other way.
Yeah. Daniel Plainshoe.
There will be chocolate.
There will be chocolate. What is there any other like lines of that movie? We did the I drink your chocolate river. We did I've abandoned my soy. Daniel Plainshoe. Is there any other memorable?
I mean, the only other lines like him when he's just like, I'm done here, or whatever at the very end.
I'm finished.
Yeah. That's they're all trying, like, try my food or my candy. You'll love it. And he tries it, like, no, I don't like this one. And this one. And then at the end, he would be like, I'm finished. You're all terrible.
We just need to write parodies.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough of those around.
No, not
just like podcasts, right?
All right, I think that's at least good funny stuff, and enough for that.
Yeah. If you have this meets that, so you're on, send us a message or something on something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, what's our email, Steve?
Maybe we'll talk about it. Well, just go to our sponsors at mugshotcoffee.com. You can get our information from there. Link in their bio.
That's what you do. You go to someone, the ad that the podcast is doing, and ask them, hey, you know that podcast that you had an ad on? How do I get in contact with them?
Yep.
If you have two movies that you would like us to match up, contact us at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com or at WRPL Podcast on Twitter. And if they're good, maybe we'll put them on the pod. All right, that was a fun This Meets That. Let's do a director versus director, where we each pick a director in one of their biggest movies and ask each other, who would you like to see direct the other person's project more? All right, Steve, do you have a director in a movie?
I do.
So do I. All right.
I would like you to go first.
Okay, I'm picking Rian Johnson's Looper.
Oh, and I picked James Cameron's Aliens.
Oh!
Your favorite movie
Okay.
of all time. Now, obviously you are well versed in this film, So I know you can speak passionately about it, but can you speak passionately about it when someone else is at the reins?
That's interesting. Both of these I think would be successful. James Cameron's Looper would be fantastic. I think he would really know how to flesh out that world.
I mean, he has dealt with time travel stuff before with Terminator, which I forgot he did until this very moment. So he's done Avatar. So like sci-fi. I mean, he's done a bunch of sci-fi.
Most of his stuff is sci-fi, except for Titanic.
So I think Looper is definitely in his wheelhouse. I think Looper is a very small story in the grand scheme of things. I think Cameron would find a way to probably make it more epic. Like it would be a grander scale movie than just this story of a man on a farm with this woman and her child, essentially.
It'd be more than low-level thugs doing this. It may be a larger operation.
Yeah. I think instead of... I think it would be Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Bruce Willis teaming up to take down this company who uses time travel. And it'd probably be like a Minority Report kind of thing where like the precogs were like not as infallible as you would think they are, and so this organization who's only taking out bad targets is actually taking out whoever they want. So old Bruce Willis figures it out, goes back in time, meets up with his younger self. He's like, "Hey, bro, they're doing some shady shit.
Now
we gotta take them out."
I think you're pitching a newer movie that we are seeing how they would handle that other movie. So it's almost like they got that script.
Well, we can do both.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. Now, what about Rian Johnson's Aliens? I think Rian Johnson has a unique filmography. Besides Looper, we have Brick and Knives Out and freaking Star Wars. So he can do small and he can do big. He's done alien monster things with Star Wars, and he's done action.
I think Rian Johnson's typically when it's original stuff. Like yes, we can pull from Star Wars that he can do big budget and he can do sci-fi and alien stuff for sure. But I think Rian Johnson's more personal movies, like I feel like Knives Out and Brick and Looper it's more character work. So I think Aliens would obviously still be action heavy, but I think he would lean more into making you care about the characters, because it's been a long time since I've seen Aliens, but I don't think any characters except for Sigourney Weaver and Newt are particularly memorable or like root for. No. Really, I don't recall.
I disagree. I think there is a lot of interesting characters. You have the blowhard Hudson, who is so freaking hot shit, but then when it comes down to actual aliens, he pisses himself and he's scared. And then you have Hicks, who doesn't really want to even be there, but is thrust into a leading role. You said Ripley, who just lost her daughter and now has found this surrogate with Newt. Newt has lost her whole family. You have Bishop, an android that our lead doesn't trust, but all he wants to do is his job. Even the villain Burke is a really interesting character and slimeball corporate dude. I think there's a lot of good character stuff in Aliens, and that's why it works so well. It's not just a big action shooty up movie.
But I'm saying, like, not that any of those characters are bad. Obviously, like I said, I don't remember it as well as you, but I just imagine them being more fleshed out. Or do you feel like they're as fleshed out as they
I think for as little screen time we have, since there are a lot of Marines in the beginning, you get a really good sense of who all of them are pretty quickly. And James Cameron is very good at that. I don't think Rian Johnson would fail at that. My main concern with Rian Johnson doing Aliens is all of his movies are really clean. There's no real grit to them. I mean, maybe Brick, but that's kind of a low budget independent thing. Not everything is going to be as polished I mean, even Looper has a little bit of fake future grunge, with the cars with the weird contraptions on it to kind of give it a semi-futuristic look. Right. But Aliens is just like dripping wet and all the muck that the hive is made out of. I don't know if because that looks like a real lived-in disgusting place, and I can see it looking a little stagey with Rian Johnson. Whereas I think,
but do you think Rian Johnson would do that had he had the groundwork of the first Alien movie that sort of set that tone? Right?
I absolutely. I don't know if he could bring it to the level that James Cameron does, because James Cameron is also a fantastic artist, and he created the Queen Alien himself. One of the greatest looking movie monsters ever. He took the best movie monster, the Xenomorph, and made a bigger, cooler, scarier version. He's an amazing artist, and you can tell in his work he really brings a lot of that artistry into it, where Rian Johnson is just a writer-director, as far as I know. So I think James Cameron could bring a lot more to Looper, and Rian Johnson, he isn't going to fail Aliens, but he's not going to bring it to where James Cameron did. But which one would I rather see? Would I rather, I kind of know what James Cameron's Looper may look like, whereas Rian Johnson's Alien could look very different.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, because we talked about Rian Johnson's filmography, but I think what maybe, and I guess it's sort of the first one, but it's like, what if you did an even tighter Aliens film in terms of like the Breaking Bad episode with The Fly, where it's all...
You want a bottle episode of Aliens?
So I'm just wondering, would that be more Rian Johnson? Would that be more his speed of okay, we're gonna do a bottle episode of Aliens, one location. The question is the first movie only had the one alien, correct?
Yeah, and it is
essentially that,
but it's just a massive bottle.
A massive bottle, yeah.
And yeah, you could tell the story of oh crap, we're trapped in this room. There's an alien trying to get in. How do we stop? It's like Panic Room with an alien or something. Yeah. Yeah, I think he could probably do that very well, but he's not making that movie. He's making Aliens.
Yeah, I guess I keep trying to pitch different things.
What can they do?
Yeah,
and that's fine. That helps flesh out as what they are as filmmakers.
So yeah, so what's your pick? What movie would you rather see? Obviously, Aliens is your favorite movie of all time. Yes. So seeing any other version of that, I think, would be partially sacrilege. But at the same time, it's oh, well, what is another version of it?
Yeah, if I can see another version of Aliens, how does it live up to my favorite movie of all time? And because one of the things that is always interesting about movies is you cast the wrong person or get the wrong cinematographer or the wrong person to do music or editing. You get one person that doesn't live up to everybody else. It could totally tank a production. And so it'd be very interesting to see, how would have Rian Johnson done this, because the music would have been different, because James Cameron uses his same music people, and a lot of directors, they bring their cinematographers, their lighting people, their editors with it, so you're going to get some of that as well. So it'd be really interesting to see what he would do. I just can't see him elevating it as much as James Cameron could probably elevate Looper. But then the thing is, how do you really elevate Looper? It's pretty tight and simple of a story.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
How do you make that better?
Yeah.
Besides visuals or music.
That's what I was kind of saying. You could still, if we changed it and had the core story relatively the same, but just make it bigger, I think James Cameron could make a very awesome sci-fi action flick in his wheelhouse, but it wouldn't be the traditional Looper story. But yeah, so what could he do with a small story? And I mean, would it be bad? No, but what would be different about it?
Yeah, Okay, final vote. I'm going to say I want to watch Rian Johnson's Aliens just because what is that? I'd like to see how different it could possibly be. It's probably not going to be better, but I would like to see what he does with it. Because, if Rian Johnson has the Aliens script and it just says there's a queen alien, well, James Cameron created that queen alien. Now Rian Johnson has to hire someone to create that queen alien, and now it looks totally different. And like James Cameron, even the aliens used to have 7 fingers on each hand, and then went down to like 4 or something like that. So is he going to just use a lot of the same models from the first movie? How does he change everything? So I'd like to see how he changed my favorite movie.
Well, if we were changing the movies entirely but keeping the core system, I'd pick James Cameron's Looper, because I think that'd be really awesome to see. But if we're just directors taking the exact same script and just shooting it their own way, I would take Rian Johnson's Aliens, because I think that would be a much more interesting take. And I think worst case scenario or best case scenario, however you see it, he does what he did with Star Wars and kills the love of a franchise, and then we never would get shitty sequels for the Alien films.
Then I wouldn't get Alien 3. I love Alien 3. But it may not kill it. We just would maybe get a different Alien 3 and a different Alien 4. And
different Prometheus and Covenant.
Absolutely. We would get
is there anything after Covenant? Covenant was the last one, right?
No, just besides AVPs.
Okay.
So yeah, whereas James Cameron working on Looper isn't going to change pop culture all that much. So yeah, if we're in a crazy Wayback Machine sort of thing and we can see how it affects timelines as well, I'd like to see Rian Johnson's Aliens. And
there are different timelines? Sorry, that was...
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, that was good. All right. So thanks for joining us for another This Meets That and Director versus Director. If you would like us to pit 2 movies together and see what sort of bastardization we can create, or make 2 directors fight to see who can make the better piece of pop culture, email us at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com and at WRPL on Twitter. I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
Have a good one. Goodbye.